Outside Magazine's adventure. The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
In its 12-year history, many of today's NBA stars have been a part of the McDonald's All-American high school teams. Magic Johnson was named in '77, the Bulls' Michael Jordan in '81. In 1979, Isaiah Thomas displayed his skills, along with Dominique Wilkins and James Worthy. Patrick Ewing was named to the 1981 team. Last year in Kansas City, Bobby Hurley and Shaquille O'Neal shared the MVP honors. Hurley set a McDonald's record with 10 assists, with passes like this one. This year, he led Duke as a freshman point guard to the NCAA championship game. Shaquille O'Neal, who at 6'11" amazed us all with his mobility and power, continued to dominate and intimidate as a freshman at LSU this year. Today's stars are equally impressive, with two of the finest coming from Indiana. 7-footer Eric Montross, an Indianapolis high school star. He is a force underneath, who averaged 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 block shots a game. And the state of Indiana's Mr. Basketball, Damon Bailey, who holds the state record in scoring with over 3,000 points. He averaged 32 points a game this year, as his high school team won the Indiana State Championship. They're just two of the nation's top 20 players. As today, ABC Sports presents the 1990 McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game. Welcome to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis for today's 13th annual McDonald's All-American Game. It's a sneak preview of next season's top freshman players. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. Very pleased you can be with us on this very special day, Easter Sunday. The top 20 high school players, the dream team, the best of the best, 20 players who will help shape this new decade in college basketball. And Dick Vitale, 4 of these guys of this 20-man team are going to Dean Smith in North Carolina.
Gary, that's amazing. When you think about the recruiting success they had down at Chapel Hill, that's the best class I've seen assembled in my 11 years in television. And it's a team. In the middle, they got Montross, the big 7-footer. You go to the corners, they got Cliff Rozier, a 6'10" perimeter player with great skills along the baseline. They have a small forward by the name of Pat Sullivan, who's not even in the game, a great player. And then Phelps in the backcourt, along with Brian Reese, a jumping jack. I'll tell you something, Gary, that's going to be an amazing class for the people down at Chapel Hill.
This is the tallest team ever. 3 7-footers. Eric Montross, 7'2", Luther Wright, who weighs 295 pounds. And look at this guy, Dick. Sean Bradley, 7'6" on his tiptoes.
I think people are going to be amazed at halftime. They're going to see Bradley shoot the rock. He was in the finals of the three-point shooting contest.
Dick, there's a lot of tension here because Ed O'Bannon, one of the outstanding players of the game, is undecided where he's going. 5 coaches are in the stands watching him today.
Well, it ruined their Easter Sunday. They had to travel out here to babysit and hope they can get him. We're looking at Ed O'Bannon. He utilizes the full court from Artesia High School out in Lakewood, California. A tremendous athlete. The big question mark, will he play for the Running Rebels at UNLV? Will he play for Bill Frieda at Arizona State? What about Jimmy Herrick at UCLA? Southern Cal, George Raveling says, I think I'm going to get him. Jimmy Boeheim says, we're going to bring him up to the east. I'll tell you something. The beat goes on and on. Move over Derek Coleman. Move over Ramil Robinson. These are the new names for tomorrow.
East against the West. The series is tied at 6. Back with the starting lineups in just a moment.
This is really weird.
We build serious machines. And by Ford Motor Company. At Ford, quality is job one.
Indianapolis, Market Square Arena, the East. Reese, Rogers, Wright, Morton along with Autry. Autry winning the 3-point shooting contest earlier this week. Cade, O'Bannon, the man we were talking about. Montross, one of the 3 7-footers. Grant Hill, who may be the best all-around player in this game. And then Mr. Indiana, Damon Bailey. Gary Carmen, Gary Muncie, and Mark Massario are the 3 officials, and the game rules. There they are, 2 20-minute halves, 45-second shot clock, only man-to-man defense, no zones, 3-point shot, 6 fouls, Dick, before they eliminate a player. And the bonus after 10 team fouls, that'll go to the 1-and-1 at that stage of the game.
Well, this year in college basketball, they're going to utilize that, except it'll be 2 shot fouls after every foul after the 10.
In the white, the West, in the red, the East. The series tied at 6. The West last year ending the East 4-game winning streak. And with the basketball will be Damon Bailey. And I'm really anxious to watch this guy play.
I'll tell you, he got enough publicity, unbelievable notoriety, but backed it up with a sensational high school year, leading his team to the state championship.
Montross will kick it out to his former Indiana mate. Bailey doesn't get it, and Luther Wright, 295 pounds and 7'2" as a rebound. Down it comes to Rodney Rogers. Rebound cleared by Anthony Cade. Out it comes to Bailey. Broken up nicely by Autry. Grant Hill will retrieve. He is Calvin Hill's son, who played for the Dallas Cowboys. Moved to the basket and the jumping jacks. And it's going to be off of the East, the red.
You know, you mentioned Grant Hill, multi-dimensional, a tremendous passer, has great ability to find the open man. He can play the point guard position at 6'8".
Inbounding is Ed O'Bannon. He kicks it into Montross. He's a little over 7 foot. He makes the move inside, and Luther Wright has committed the foul.
Montross really going down in North Carolina, fits the bill of the former great big players they've had down at Chapel Hill. When you think about the Kupchaks and the LaGuards and the Brad Daughertys. In fact, he told us before the game that was one of the real chief reasons that he decided on North Carolina, looking at the development of their big people.
Montross, he is built like granite. Big, strong guy. You can see the stitches in the left eye. He caught an elbow from Darren Hancock in a scrimmage earlier this week.
Well, a lot of people thought he'd wear a uniform up in Michigan or Indiana because his mom and dad both graduated from Michigan. In fact, his mom said in one of the articles I read that she still gets the goosebumps every time she hears "Hail to the Victors."
We had a lane violation on that second one, so the first free throw will count. It's with now about 45 seconds into the game. Autry, baseline, trying to get it off to Brian Reese. Reese will be playing for Dean Smith as well. Rebound tipped out by Cade to Damon Bailey. Bailey, Bob Knight says, is so smart. Let's watch him create here. Into Montross. Good catch. And he goes up and makes the shot.
Well, the power play by Montross, catching the ball. Good two-man play, Bailey and Montross, but unfortunately for the Indiana fans, they're not going to be together on a collegiate level, and everybody was dreaming, hoping to see this guy right here, the Hoosier, Damon Bailey. They were hoping to see him with Eric Montross, and there's Montross, squares his body to the baseline. That's an excellent power move.
Montross not getting a free throw, and the chance for a three-point play. Cade's shot is rejected.
Luther Wright going to Seton Hall University with the rejection.
Dwayne Morton, who committed the foul on that last play that sent Montross to the line with the ball, gets it off to Autry. Autry headed to Syracuse, scoop shot, and out it comes to O'Bannon. Breakaway to Grant Hill. Back to O'Bannon.
That's the passing ability I was talking about a little bit earlier, Gary. He really is so unselfish. What a perfect player he's going to be when he plays down at Duke. O'Bannon with the deuce, but it was Hill who made the play.
Luther Wright can't retrieve that one. It'll be off of Big Lou. What a wonderful guy Luther Wright is. Fun to watch him. But Ed O'Bannon, some people feel that he may be a left-handed James Worthy.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of those skills on a scholastic level. He really uses the court real well. Oh, look at that pass.
Foul inside is going to go on Luther Wright.
Luther Wright, I was teasing him as we watch right now. Hill to O'Bannon. Take a look at this duo. Nice kick back to the trailer, and there's O'Bannon. Where will he go? George Raveling told us last night at dinner at the banquet, he said, Nick, they're wasting their time. He's going to be a Trojan. You talked to Bill Frieda. He said he's coming to Arizona State. Jimmy Boeheim pulled up at the hotel today. He said, Syracuse.
Maybe he can play 1 year at each place.
I'll tell you what, he can flat out play. And what a beautiful kid. Has great personality.
This guy here, Anthony Cade, has really impressed people this week. His stock has gone up. He'll be playing for Denny Crum at Louisville. 6'9" out of Oak Hill Academy, even though he's a Bronx native.
Well, he'll hook up down there with Dwayne Morton. He should hook up with Dwayne Morton. I think the NCAA will waive their previous ruling where they stated that he had to go elsewhere and we'll get into that a little bit later because I think the kid should be allowed to play at Louisville. He did nothing to justify that decision.
He's still looking to get on the scoreboard. They're trailing 7-0 in this game. Here's Rodney Rogers. He lost control of it, but it was touched last by the West. So the East still looking to get on the scoring column thus far. Here's the guy they call the Bull of Durham. He's from Durham, North Carolina. He's headed to Wake Forest.
And what a great recruiting class Davey Odom has really put together. One of the top 5 in America.
Little jump hook there by Wright. Rogers tries to take it up. Cade with a good defense. Rogers will try it again. Cade reaches in and bats it away.
Anthony Cade, a little rejection. What talent. The talent just gets better and better, it seems, every year, Gary. Next year we'll be sitting here with Cherokee Parks and a kid by the name of Weber, a kid by the name of Henderson. Juniors who can really play.
Rogers ducking inside, lost it. Boy, is he a warrior inside. He's just relentless. Finally gets a foul this time on the move inside. Cade over there committing the foul. Rogers at the line was the Mr. Basketball of North Carolina. A lot of people have said they remind him of a young left-handed Karl Malone. Look at the shoulders on him, Dick.
Yeah, he's a big power baseline player, posts up real well inside. They also signed Wake Forest, several other good players. A kid by the name of Lucas who can really play. Stanley King, a 7-footer. Look at those numbers, 29 a game, 12 rebounds, 4 block shots. All of these guys have unbelievably impressive statistics.
You know what happens, Dick? You forget they're high school players. You really do. The talent is that amazing. The East is finally on the scoreboard with that free throw, trailing 7-1. Cade, turnaround jumper. Reese had positioning, but O'Bannon rips it away, and he puts it up and in.
And O'Bannon, a baseline beauty. Great fingertip control, good extension.
Here is Dwayne Morton moving inside. He'll be called for traveling. Morton, many people feel, is the finest player to ever come out of Louisville. Now, that's a mouthful. Would you agree with that?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about the finest. There have been some great players when you talk about Wes Unseld and Darryl Griffith. But I'll tell you this, it's an interesting story what transpired when Denny Crum, and we'll get into that, Gary, because that's really an interesting story that's taking place down there.
Breakaway to Rogers. Good transition by the big guy.
Skywalker up and away. Rogers, unbelievable. We're watching high school body.
That's right. Cade overlays the ball. And Luther Wright kicks it out to Brian Reese. 3-on-2.
Nice.
Reese on a nice give-up pass and missed it. Beautiful pass by Autry that time.
Adrian Autry is one of the best passing big guards in basketball.
O'Bannon. Can he finish a play and can he run the floor?
He's a finalizer, Gary. He's a great transition player.
6 points for Ed O'Bannon. Here's Damon Bailey. 2-on-1. Autry is back.
Give it up.
The Grant Hill. Montross, good hustle on his part, is down there. He can't get it. Great effort by Montross. Bodies everywhere. Cade will load it up. And bringing it down is Wright.
Luther Wright with a good outlet pass. He'll pass. Oh, what a pass. What a pass. They're going to love him up at the Carrier Dome. Adrian Autry. He's got great vision. I'll tell you a passer that's not here is probably better than all of them. Anthony Hardaway from out of Memphis, Tennessee.
There's a roll, and the count now goes 13-5 in favor of the West.
I saw Hardaway in a Dapper Dan, Sonny Vaccaro's game that he puts on, and Hardaway, you talk about a 6'8 guy. They call him the Memphis Magician.
They've had some outstanding players coming out of that Memphis area. What a hotbed that has been for basketball. Here's Autry. He won the three-point shooting contest, which you'll see at halftime, narrated by Dick Vitale, and there's the move inside and the foul. The foul as Reese is fouled. Let's go back and pick up the open floor ability of Autry.
Well, see, Adrian Autry right now, he freezes the defender, drives the basketball right at the defensive player, and then gets the great angle with the good look inside. Good pass to Morton. Let us go over that Morton situation.
Go ahead.
For people out here, Gary. What happened during a dead period in recruiting? Denny Crum happened to go out for dinner with the mother. The mother, Mrs. Morton, came down to see him and wanted to know some things concerning the scholarship. She went to dinner. That was a violation. Denny Crum was in violation. He claims he didn't know the rule. Certainly you're responsible to know the rule. My feeling is the youngster did nothing to justify the NCAA ruling that he couldn't play at Louisville but could play elsewhere. My feeling is they should penalize Louisville and maybe the coaching staff, take a scholarship away, maybe restrict them in recruiting. But Dwayne Morton didn't do a thing wrong. He's a Louisville kid, and they did not gain an advantage in recruiting because he had already committed to Louisville. My feeling is he should wear a Louisville Cardinal uniform.
But obviously it's still pending. No decision's been made as of right now. All deflected. You see a lot of new people in there, and there's the guy you can't miss, 7'6" Sean Bradley. I love Sean Bradley. He has such a spirit about him. He's one of these guys that kind of plays to the crowd. Great personality.
And everybody seems to like him. All the players really enjoy being with him.
The West with a 13-6 lead over the East. We'll be back. Sean Bradley, just a moment ago, you had a glimpse of the 7'6" guy headed to BYU. Earlier, he was on the Regis Philbin show.
Hey, Regis. Oh, look, Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth and Sean Bradley. You've never been on a Dr. Ruth show, Gary.
Now, watch this, Dick. You went to Xavier High School in New York and shattered the backboard.
And they had to cancel a game. You know where he's going tomorrow? Tomorrow he's going to visit his future college coach who's in a hospital. We send our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Roger Reed, who had both hips replaced. And Roger, the head coach of Brigham Young University, a classy guy. In fact, his son Randy Reed will be playing for him down at Brigham Young. And they got a good recruiting class coming in. Look at the field goal percentages, not too good.
All right, we come back now, 13-6 in favor of the West. We have some new people in. We'll try to set it for you. We now have the two guys who played in high school together, Christ the King and Middle Village, New York in there. Phelps along. Look at that rejection by Bradley. And here's Jamie Brandon headed to Illinois.
He can play. He's a monster. This guy's got great ability. From out of the #1 high school team in America, rated by USA Today, King High School in Chicago, Illinois.
Khalid Reeves is in there along with Phelps. They play together in high school, now operating in the backcourt and taking it inside as Phelps, and they got a hell ball. What a beating he took on that. And the alternating hell possession, no, wait a minute. One official says a foul. And I don't see how they could have gotten a hell ball out of that one.
Derek Phelps can dominate a game without scoring a lot of points. He's a great passer. As we look at Jamie Brandon, explosive leaper. He told me today he's really up, doesn't really know what's going to happen in the Illinois situation with the investigation, but he signed with Illinois earlier this year. As we look at Khalid Reeves, certainly Lute Olson's excited having Reeves, going to be a future Arizona Wildcat.
Talked to Lute last night at the banquet. Very excited about Khalid. He averaged 30-some points a game this year.
Well, he can shoot the long-range jumper as well as drive and pass. He's a complete guard.
Checked it inside. Here is Reeves, the man we're talking about. A breakaway, and the shot missing by Rozier. The follow is in by Phelps. Eric Phelps. Well, they have quite a luxury on this East team. They have two backcourts they can play together who played together in high school. The Valentine connection and the Christ the King connection.
Phelps is a tremendous defensive player. He's a defensive stopper. Puts a lot of pressure on a basketball.
Here is Brandon. He played on the top-ranked team in the country, Chicago King. They were unbeaten. Boy, look at that. Is that something for a big man to catch the ball and square up like that?
He has an excellent touch, and you're correct, Gary. Squares his body really well. Coach Wooden yesterday said when he puts some weight on that frame, he's going to be a dominant force.
Wayne Morton with a couple of spin moves takes it inside. And we have a blocking foul. The foul going on Kendrick Warren. Kendrick got here late. He was trying to work on some classes, some studies. He missed some play to the Dapper Dan Classic, so he didn't come in until Friday night. So he didn't get a lot of work out prior to this game today.
And they do a great job during the week here. It's not just basketball. They visit the hospital. They share time with young kids who aren't as fortunate. And they really, really do a great job, the McDonald's people, educating them as well as giving them an opportunity to play basketball.
Brandon on the steal, now trying to finish at the other end, and he gets it off very effectively as the shot is made by Darren Hancock, who won the slam dunk competition, and now Hancock has fouled Phelps.
Hancock is a spectacular player as we look at him, number 33, and we'll have the slam dunk contest at halftime. He's a great leaper, Gary, an exciting player. It looks like he'll head either to UNLV, Louisville, or junior college, depending on what happens academically down the stretch. He is just a tremendous talent who utilizes the full court.
The Georgia Player of the Year. And it goes, feed intended for Smith and broken up. Simon brings it off now to Brandon. Amy Brandon has it stripped. Khalid Reeves, he'll take it unmolested on this one, and Reeves now has made it a 19-11 game in favor of the West. Aaron Hancock. Beautiful move inside. Rebound is cleared instead, though, by Smith. I tell you, he is a warrior. Michael Smith is going to Providence, and he'll finish at the other end.
Nice give and go. That's a great play when you can rebound on one end, fill the lane, get the ball back, and convert and score.
19-13 in favor of the West. Here is Reed. Up it comes, and again, a finishing slam put away that time by Michael Smith out of Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C. He has 4 points.
Michael Smith really played well in the McDonald's All-American game out of Washington, D.C. Came off the bench and scored more than 30 points going out to play at Providence for Rick Barnes.
They think he might be the steal. A lot of people thought that he was possibly headed to Georgetown and ends up at Providence.
Yeah, Providence got a good one. They also got a good one in a kid by the name of Robert Phelps, who'll be coming there as well from New York City.
Kendrick Warren, the lead in, and he's fouled as he takes it to the hole.
Warren also told me before the game it's going to be VCU or Richmond or maybe UNLV. He said he visited and loved the Running Rebels. Everybody's Running Rebels crazy right now.
You're picking him number 1 if Larry Johnson stays.
Yeah, if Larry Johnson is back, I definitely have to pick him number 1. If he goes to the NBA draft, I'm going to put Arizona number 1.
Kendrick Warren was not a good free throw shooter this year. Well, they shot 50% out of Thomas Jefferson High School in Richmond.
I know Dick Tarrant would love to have him right there and stay in Richmond. And you talk about one of the outstanding coaches in America who doesn't get a lot of national publicity. Dick Tarrant certainly fits that bill.
6-point lead now for the West. Here's Phelps. He didn't average a lot point-wise, 15, but you can see his playmaking ability, and that'll fit in very well with Dean Smith's team. Inside move that time by Rozier, and he is fouled by Sean Bradley.
Cliff Rozier has a world of talent. He comes from Bradenton, Florida. He's the Bradenton beauty.
He's more popular there than you.
Yeah, I was teasing him yesterday. I said, you get more publicity in Bradenton than I do, Rozier. I live there, and I can't get the publicity he gets. Mike Mersch, the fine editor down here in the Bradenton Herald, has done numerous articles on Cliff Rozier, and he told me, he said, Dick, as good as a basketball player that he is, he's a great kid as well. He's had good guidance at home from his mom and pop who are here today, and I know he's going to be a special player down at North Carolina.
You believe in the last 2 years this guy has grown 8 inches. He was a high school quarterback at one time and played tennis very well.
He plays tennis.
Here's Reeves. Up it comes Rozier. Rozier will put it away. And the East now climbing back into this one. They're trailing by only 3.
It's hard to believe that one class can get a 7-footer in the middle, get a power forward, get a small forward, a kid by the name of Pat Sullivan, who's not even here, and a complete backcourt.
John Bradley's going to have to learn he can't bring that ball down. He's going to have to keep it up. That'll come. Aaron Hancock.
Hello! Hello! That's awesome, baby! That's why he won the Slam Jam Bam contest.
And at the other end, a little mugging going on that particular play as Smith is hammered, taking it inside.
Hey, I want to get Dominique Wilkins, who's Mr. Highlights film himself from Atlanta with the Hawks, hook him up with Darren Hancock, who's also from Georgia. Take a look at Mr. Hancock. He says, come on down, Dominique. Challenge me to a Slam Jam Bam contest.
Wait until you see the halftime, because he has a little special technique, a prop that he uses on the slam dunk to win it. And Dick, of course, will be describing that. Only Dick Vitale could do it.
He's fluid, Gary. Look how smooth, silky smooth.
5 points now for Smith, who's come in and has really helped this East team. It's going to be the East basketball, and we're going to have a break. This game moving quickly. 11:20 to go in the first half of play. The West led all the way. They lead it now, 23-19.
Introducing new Glade Carpet Potpourri. Shake it out. Capture the essence of the country. Flowers, earth, fruits, and spice. That's Glade Carpet Potpourri. A fresh new scent, very nice. It helps eliminate tough pet and smoking odors. Shake it out. With the natural scent of the country. Glade Carpet Potpourri. Shake out that country scent with new Glade Carpet Potpourri. Shake it out. Glade Carpet Potpourri. Shake it out.
You know, with springtime boom, it's like everything happens at once. There's no end to the stuff you got to do.
Right, John.
Heavy-duty Ace work gloves are just $288 a pair, and Ace long-handled shovels and rakes are $597 each.
Hey, no matter what you're doing this weekend, Ace is the place for you.
I use pressure-treated lumber and still have expensive water damage.
Why?
Even treated wood needs Thompson's Water Seal. It penetrates to protect wood, brick, and concrete from water damage. Thompson's the first name in lasting protection.
I've made up my mind. I'm going to do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
The 1981 McDonald's All-American game was played in Wichita. An underdog East team won a 96-95 thriller as Michael Jordan scored 30 points, which is still a record. The next year, he went to North Carolina to lead Dean Smith to his first and only NCAA championship. And so Michael Jordan from Wichita and down here to Indianapolis, the 13th annual, as West with a 23-19 lead. And Saturday, the Professional Bowlers Tour heads to Connecticut for the $140,000 Greater Hartford Open. And then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Olympic gold medalist Nadia Comaneci. Exclusive interview and performance. And the road to the Kentucky Derby reaches the home stretch with a Wood Memorial Invitational, plus a report on the Paris-Roubaix bicycle race. That's all Saturday on ABC Sports.
And wasn't it great yesterday to hear Michael Jordan with his message, the videotape message to all the athletes about the importance of getting their degree? I thought it was beautiful.
Lid Reeves, who can score so quickly, doesn't get that one, but his high school teammate Phelps has a rebound. They sign is Smith, and he has a ball bad way. Montrose and O'Bannon double teaming. Breakaway to Hill.
Grant Hill has great instincts for the game. His dad was Calvin Hill, the former running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
Reese, and they almost tear the goal down.
Could be Rozier up there over the rim.
Oh, Reese with a tremendous move. It didn't go, and two red shirts were there.
Well, they gave it to Smith over Rozier.
It was anybody's pick. Both of them could have gotten that one. O'Bannon, spin move. Good inside positioning by the East, and it brings it out now to Reese. And Smith doesn't see it, but he tracks it down. And he's fouled by Hill. Looked like Hill had all ball there.
These games become transition basketball. There's a classy young man you're looking at right here. He has it together academically as well as athletically. Great guidance at home. His dad went to Yale, then he moved on to the NFL. As we look at the play right here, there's Reese, the high riser. Now it could be Rozier, 44, or Smith, 32. Look at my guy, Cliff Rozier from out of Bradenton. I'd give him the deuce.
Whew, they smother that one. By the way, you're talking about Grant Hill. He plays a mean piano. He was playing in the hotel lobby this week. I went over. I thought it was a professional, and he was really doing a job.
Well, I thought it was really interesting talking to his dad yesterday. He said he was playing tennis with his son when he was an 8th grader, and they're playing outside, and the football team at the high school starts coming out to work out during the summer. And he looked at his son. He said, next year, Grant, you're going to be over there wearing those pads playing football. He said, no way, Dad. I'm playing basketball. He said, my son is intelligent.
Well, he saw his dad come back after those Sunday games in the NFL. So it's now a 25-22 count, the west of the league. Damon Bailey back into the ball game into Montrose. They work so well together out here. Rebound O'Bannon.
They really do play well together, Bailey and Montrose. They seem to have such a feel for each other.
Luther
It's the big fella.
there. The big Luther right move.
He's going to make my all-big back team, Luther. He loves those big backs.
295 pounds of him. He needs to lose some weight, but he is one of those guys who just grows on you. Great personality. Autry from outside.
That's the real rap on Adrian Autry, shooting the ball from a distance.
Reeves gets a follow, and he's fouled, except Autry won the three-point contest, and I think improved so much this year. They think he has picked up that game a little bit.
Well, he has improved his shot, but remember this, in the three-point shooting contest, Gary, you don't have a hand in your face. We take a look play right here, 2-on-1. There's the trailer. There's Luther, 7-2, running a break from Elizabeth, New Jersey. He has to, as you said, really accurately, and I believe that lose some pounds, get a little bit more stamina, but I think with his touch and his great attitude, he's going to be a good player at Seton Hall.
I agree. Attitude is really big with him. So now the East with the lead, 27-25. Morton's breakaway. The East is really coming back in this one. Autry unselfishly gives it to Reeves to put it in.
Adrian Autry likes passes the basketball. Syracuse certainly could have utilized him this year at the point guard slot.
And he can shoot free throws, too. I know Jim thinks, I'll be glad to hear that.
Well, they need some. Derek Coleman is going to be gone. Certainly, I think the #1 player to be taken in the NBA draft.
Reached around by Rodney Rogers. Here he comes.
Give it up. Get it back.
Senior, as it comes to Morton, he overshoots it. And Rogers will retrieve. Boy, this is a relentless move by the East. They've kind of turned this game around, stepping up the tempo. Morton from outside. And that's going to be off of Rogers. And the West will have the ball as now Derek Phelps will check in for Khalid Reeves.
Gary, these games become really transition basketball. They become fast break drills, 3-on-1, 4-on-2, finalizing, and just some exciting plays for the fans. You don't have the rhythm of the so-called team concept with the screens and the passing inside. Paul Westhead should like this style.
I tell you, the coaches have not been able to do a lot of coaching this week. You got to give them the ball and let them go. Damon Bailey, and he gets the shot off.
Damon Bailey has great legs. He bounces off the floor. Certainly the fans here love Mr. Bailey. When he was introduced, the place really rocked.
And they hold up placards with his number 32, and Luther Wright. I think this is the most active I've seen Luther Wright all week. He's running up and down the floor with some stamina. Here is Cade, and Wright thought better trying to block that one. It'll be off of the West.
The big guys really don't get the ball too much in the half-court game down in the boxes. A lot of coaches here. There's Jimmy Herrick, certainly nervous. I was teasing him. I said, Jimmy, did you hear about it? Press conference. O'Bannon going to Arizona State. I broke his heart yesterday. I was only teasing him.
Here's Bailey now. His creativity, and instead he puts it away.
They put to rest. Damon Bailey can play. I know a lot of people wonder if he's overrated. David Bailey's going to be an outstanding college basketball player.
He has 6 points. Cade on the air ball, gets it off to Grant Hill, and Hill finalizes.
And Hill will be a factor right out of the gate with the Duke Blue Devils.
And all of a sudden, the West with a spurt, and they've tied it up at 31. A timeout is called. Vito Montelli, the coach of the East, doesn't like the way this game all of a sudden has turned around.
I love it, Montelli. I love it. I love it. His name ends in A-E-I-O-U. Look at Mr. Hill. Jam City.
It's all tied. We'll be back soon.
Billy has a girlfriend.
Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I want to get a picture here.
But what would I got to her?
Yeah, I came out. Oh, that's very nice. I look,
You look sort of catatonic, but that's okay.
Very nice. Picture of
No, it's a mood shot. Just some sort of, what can I say?
What are you trying to say? I'm 41. How do you not get heavy when you're 41?
I'm sorry.
I like that picture.
Yeah.
That's a good one. How come my pictures didn't turn out that good?
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If they're not Dockers, they're just pants.
This captures a lot of personality. Not yours, but
We were 3 days out of Dakar on the Queen Elizabeth II. I was right in the middle of an apricot flambe.
Captain, I'm afraid we've just run out of Colombian coffee.
Run out, Mr. Harwood.
What about Mr. Roberts? Engine room, full speed.
So we turned back. Under the circumstances, it was the only civilized thing we could do.
100% Colombian coffee, the richest coffee in the world.
Bowling's top money winners go for the Capitol in Connecticut at the $140,000 Greater Hartford Open, Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
Luther Wright, kind of a man who just as big as a mountain, but look how he follows up on this play and finishes it off very effectively.
There he is as the trailer.
295 pounds getting up above and slamming it away. And now let's go to another member of our broadcast team. Here's Cheryl Miller.
And Gary, you know, a man who is very happy with the way Luther Wright is playing is P.J. Carlissimo, the coach for Seton Hall, and you have to be thrilled.
We're delighted, Cheryl. We've got a big guys. No excuses anymore. We've got one of the best big men in the country, and we're really looking forward to the next 4 years.
You know, we were just talking about how physically gifted and fundamentally sound that these high school basketball players are.
I just think the coaching is getting better on the younger levels, and the kids are just better athletes nowadays. They're better basketball players than they used to be. Not in women,
but it meant. All right, PJ, thank you very much. Let's go back to you, Gary.
Cheryl, glad to have you with us.
I saw PJ today in church, and he was praying like you couldn't believe.
Praying for you is what he was doing.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was trying to... He's such a great guy. PJ Carlissimo, one of the nicest guys in all of the coaching fraternity.
East will inbounds the ball. Cheryl Miller very at home here because her brother Reggie Miller's having a great year here at Market Square Arena for the Indiana Pacers. He may win the Most Improved Player of the Year award.
And he's here to visit his sister today.
There's Derek Phelps and Sean Bradley with good inside positioning. Grant Hill, who has a 3.2 GPA, ahead of the Duke and Mike Krzyzewski. Pucks inside. Nice creative pass. Montrose had a tough time locating it, but you can understand why. He didn't get a lot of passes like that in high school. Autry to Rogers.
Oh, is that a power dunk? That was a vicious dunk. That was unbelievable. That's a high school kid. Are you serious?
Oh, the place right now is just reeling from that play. 33-31 in favor of the East. Here comes Autry. Autry always seeing everything, sees the open floor so well, and finishing off his Phelps.
Billy Owens and LeRon Ellis are going to enjoy playing with Adrian Autry. He is constantly giving the basketball up. He's so unselfish.
Damon Bailey has the tripper behind. O'Bannon's got it. Running left-hander. East will bring it out. Here comes Phelps. Lee pass and Bailey somehow saw the ball. I don't know how he did, and batted it away.
Good defensive play by Bailey. Good instincts.
Rodney Rogers has it knocked away, and still the East of the basketball. That was a three attempt by Autry.
That's the one area lacking with a lot of these kids, shooting the perimeter shot. He lifts his pivot foot. They really, really have a difficult time squaring their body, shooting the 17, 18-foot shot.
All right, watch
and
this now.
We take a look at Mr. Rogers. I mean, this is an exclamation point. Take a look at this. A high school kid flying through the air. He did one in the slam dunk contest, a 360 spin, jumping over three people.
And we'll see that at halftime. 35-31 in favor of the East, but now Montrose gets two for the West, and he has 5 points.
Very creative pass right there on the interior. Good inside pass. But I really believe that, Gary, the art of shooting the basketball is an area these kids don't work that diligently at. They won't want to run, jump, or play above the rim.
I tell you, that paint is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, isn't it? He takes over. Doesn't get the shot to go. Hill to Bailey.
Oh, what a pass by Bailey. Are you kidding? Did you see Damon Bailey with the touchdown? That's a Larry Bird look. That's a Larry Bird kind of play. He knew exactly where the trailer Bradley was all the time.
I saw Bob Knight. He was watching practice this week. I said, what's he best at doing? He says he's just smart, and you can see it there. Is he going to help the Hoosiers?
Hey, Bradley's not really a big, strong guy, but he's got great position all the time.
There's Damon that time. A reach-around foul by Rogers. Now we're going to have some substitutions. The East, by the way, one man short because Bill Curley, the outstanding player out of Duxbury, Massachusetts, the Massachusetts Player of the Year, has a stress fracture in his foot. He's sitting on the right end of the bench there on the East side, and he's averaged over 30 points a game this year.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. They're excited up at Boston College. They think he could be their dominating player inside to give him, as we see him at the end of the bench. Just got a great attitude as well, and Jimmy O'Brien's really excited to have him off the beast there.
You see the body control on Brandon that time?
Jamie Brandon's a spectacular athlete.
Phelps takes it. Bradley got a piece of it, and a foul's going to go on Damon Bailey.
Phelps challenges the big guy, takes the ball down the lane. Bailey bumps him before Bradley makes the block shot. Now take a look at this pass by Bailey. Look at the touch pass. The no look. He knows where Bradley is, and Bradley finalizes and converts.
Dick, what's amazing to me about Damon Bailey is the pressure. In the 8th grade it started. Remember the book that was written? And how much has been said about him in all these years. Bailey's handled that pressure so well.
Well, he's just a class kid as we look at Mr. Bailey sitting on the sideline. I'll tell you one thing. You talk about the pressure. John Feinstein certainly documented in his book on Bobby Knight what Bobby Knight thought of Mr. Bailey. Then Sports Illustrated did a feature on him as a, I believe, an 8th grader. But he lived up to the expectation. But I really enjoyed speaking to the team yesterday about that, Gary, about expectations, about blending with other great players, and about some of the real traps they're going to face on a collegiate level.
I want to tell you, Kenny Wolf, myself, and Cheryl Miller, we were just absolutely astounded. You were outstanding.
Oh, thank you, Gary. It really It's really nice of you to say, but I really enjoyed having the opportunity to speak to many of these athletes.
One thing about it, though, Dick, next time you speak, would you put a little more energy into it, a little more enthusiasm? Here comes Phelps. And Smith, and he's fouled by Hancock. Hancock flying through the air to try to block the shot. Are there some bodies going around here up and down and up above the rim?
Just some great athletes. The one message, though, I really tried to pass on to them is more than becoming just a basketball player and becoming one-dimensional. Start to realize there's more to it than that and try to really get yourself ready for the biggest game they're going to play, and that's really dealing with life and all the problems that really are out there. Right now, everything's been rosy for many of these players, and now they go to college, and for once now they're going to find out for the first time, as Smith has 9 points, that maybe it's not going to be all that smooth.
And 9 points is the high for the game thus far. And so now, with 4:42 left in the half, there's Bill Frieder, the coach at Arizona State.
What a job he's doing in recruiting. Look at him right now. He's so serious, but an unbelievable recruiting success story. I would rate them right now behind North Carolina as the second best recruiting class in America.
What if they get O'Bannon?
Well, then, I don't still think you can put them number one. North Carolina's still number one.
37-36, the West with a 1-point lead. Here is Simon. They kind of say he's got a West Unseld type body, but he threw that one away. And all of a sudden, nobody back on defense, and the finishing touches by Michael Smith.
Michael Smith knows how to score. He knows how to get ahead of the ball.
33-point effort in the Capital City Classic. He was co-MVP. Look at Sean Bradley. Fly. What touch there was on that one.
He has an excellent touch. He's going to play as a freshman at BYU, and then he's going to go on mission, I believe, for 2 years.
We get a little stronger, more mature after that mission and come back, and what a force he should be.
He's trailing right now. He's trailing.
Look at this. He's fouled. Reaching in was Phelps, or he would have had that one go through.
And he plays first base in baseball, even though he didn't play this year. His first 3 years, he played baseball.
You know, he plays golf. Can you imagine how long the golf clubs must be?
All right, we look back. There's the kick back to Bradley out of Utah. Brigham Young certainly excited that he'll be wearing a BYU uniform.
Well, you know, I guess what? Manute Bol is 7'7", maybe an inch taller, but this guy can do things Manute Bol hasn't even thought about doing.
Well, he can shoot. He can score. Manute certainly doesn't have the touch and the scoring ability. But in fairness to Manute, he didn't start playing at a young age like Mr. Bradley.
40-38 in favor of the West.
I think it's exciting to get a chance. I know I get overly excited sometimes when I see a lot of these young kids. But to think about how the talent level is getting better and better, and it is, as P.J. Carlissimo said, the coaching is getting so outstanding on a scholastic level.
Dick, I've never seen you get overexcited.
There's still magic to be found out there, the magic of moments and times to share. Sweet dreams are coming true, and there's no difference between me and you. It's food, folks, and fun. Food, folks, and fun. You know the one, McDonald's, for food, folks, and fun. A simple smile, a friendly face, a golden glow lights up the place. Look around, there's magic you can feel. The world that keeps changing, there's still magic out there. You know the one, McDonald's, food, folks, and fun.
Own a foreign car, Midas has the right brake parts in stock for practically every foreign car. And our brake technicians are trained experts, so we do the job right and right away. For foreign car brakes, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Barbasol Gel gives you a super close shave like the other gel, but at a great Barbasol price.
Your Barbasol Gel, sir. Your change.
Barbasol Gel. No wonder it appeals to the rich.
Invigorating, exhilarating, breathtaking. It's another edition of Outside Magazine's Adventure Sports Special next Sunday on ABC Sports.
Jim Boeheim watching Adrian Autry, who'll be playing for the Orange next year.
Well, you know, Jimmy Boeheim has certainly Ellis coming back, and I think he's got to have a better year next year than he did this year. Wasn't aggressive, I don't think, like he's capable of being. And we look at Adrian Autry, who will be playing for Syracuse, and will be a major factor. There's no doubt in my mind he'll start at the point guard position. And then you talk about Billy Owens, and that's a nice nucleus to build around. Ellis, Owens, and an Autry playing on a perimeter. I think another thing that really bothers me tremendously when we look at a Jimmy Boeheim, the guy gets so much negative publicity up in Syracuse from the local media and from a lot of the fans, and I just can't believe it when you think about the success they've had there in Syracuse, and one of the real premier conferences in America that David Gavitt created, the Big East.
Hancock, off it comes to Brandon. He double pumps, tipped up by Warren. We still have it. Rozier, Clifford Rozier at 6'10". Here's Reese, back to Rozier, and he has it stripped and taken away by Simon.
Simon took it right out of Rozier's hands.
Reeves, and Bradley messed that one up, and Rozier will try to shoot against the 7'6" guy, and he got away with it.
Rozier's really an outstanding rebounder, but he has good perimeter skills as well as the ability to play inside down in the interior.
The Florida Player of the Year, breakaway now to Reese.
Reese is a high jumper. He is a tremendous athlete. In fact, when you look at North Carolina, he could be the best athlete they're bringing in since the days. And I don't mean that he's going to be the player that Mr. Jordan was, because I think Jordan's in another world, but he's an athlete.
1 point lead for the East. Now a 1 point lead for the West. And Bradley didn't even jump. I think he was on his tiptoes with that.
Tiptoe to the deuce.
Don't start singing, please, Dick. Here's Rozier overshooting it. Here comes Kendrick Warren. Off to Brandon, 3-on-1. And Warren probably should have given that one up. He didn't have any place to go.
Defensive player steps in, takes the charge. This is called a tiptoe dunk. Take a look right here. Little tiptoe. Little tiny tip, little tiptoe.
Well, he did leave the floor, not much so. It's another world when you're that tall.
I don't know about it because I've never been in that world.
It's an amazing thing to watch. 7'6" Sean Bradley. 43-42 the West. We have 2:20 left in, I would think, kind of a torrid first half, don't you think? Up and down the floor, and you're seeing such great athleticism. No disappointment of these top 20 seniors here in this 13th annual McDonald's All-American game. Khalid Reeves, three-point attempt, and he gets a roll.
He's the one guy that can shoot the long-range jump shot. He has excellent range as a shooter.
11 points for Reeves. And it comes O'Bannon. Jump hook.
Eddie O'Bannon puts it right off the glass. And there's Mr. and Mrs. O'Bannon. Came down to see their son.
Reese. And he follows his own shot as it's stripped. And coming out of the pack, here comes Brandon. Again, 2-on-2 this time. And O'Bannon.
Oh, with the right hand. And look at Mom and Papa. Listen up, my boy.
Boy, that is something special, isn't it? And at the other end, Smith. And hitting the deck hard is Damon Bailey. So they're going to have a charge. Wipe the basket off.
Hey, if Ed O'Bannon decides to go to UNLV and Larry Johnson doesn't go to the pros, take UNLV and put him in the NBA as an expansion team. As you look at the reverse layup, could you believe Stacey Ortman, O'Bannon, Larry Johnson, George Ackles, Anderson Hunt, and Greg Anthony? Hey, Clark, I can't coach a lick, and I can coach that team.
Here's Rozier. David Bailey the rebound. And he is fouled as he breaks out of there. Well, I tell you, Ed Sr., his dad, must be awfully proud, as is Madeline, the mother. And you know what's so impressive about O'Bannon? He's a role model. Not just an outstanding basketball player. He's calm, he's cool, collected, says yes sir, no sir. Really handles himself very well.
Well, another area I really like when you speak to him, he looks you right in the eye and has great eye contact as we look at the jump shot.
I can see why Brandon was such a scorer in Chicago King. He can really stroke it from outside.
Well, he's especially effective when he's going to the basket.
50-45 West. We're inside a minute to go now in this first half. Autry with Damon Bailey, quick jumper, and he's posted up quickly on that one, didn't he?
If Adrian Autry really completes his game by becoming a respectable three-point shooter, he will be so difficult to defend.
First 2 points of the game for Autry. You see the remaining seconds. Bailey taking it inside. Had the ball stripped. Gets it to Brandon, and he comes out of there. Montrose tries to keep it alive, and he got it.
Montrose with the great tip.
And Bailey on the steal. 16 seconds. Hill had to change the shot. It was there.
Didn't make a good play. Should have given it up that time. Had an open guy on the box.
Autry up to Rozier, and Rozier changes hands, and the left-hander rolls it in.
Flip Rozier goes from the right to the left hand.
And the final shot, and what a first half. We have a good one here at the Market Square Arena.
It's really been exciting. Some real outstanding basketball, especially passing the basketball. That's been an area that's really impressed me in the first half. The giving up of the rock.
And coming up at half, we've been talking about the three-point competition, the slam dunk, and Cheryl Miller will visit with John Wooden. They say that Dr. Naismith invented the game. John Wooden perfected it. We'll be back with all of that at half. The West with a 52-49 lead.
The McDonald's All-American High School Basketball Game. Brought to you by the good time, great taste of McDonald's.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
You said we're a dying breed.
No, I agree. In fact, you've got a few minutes left.
Oh, man, I'm full. Yeah, I started combing my hair back when I was about 10 because I knew I'd be bald. You like rubbish? No, thank you. It's a little rough for me.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If they're not Dockers, they're just pants.
I used to babysit. I used to get $0.25 an hour.
Just last week? Is that the only signing up? Yeah.
Everybody knows the pain reliever doctors recommend most for headaches is Tylenol. But that's not all. Tylenol is also recommended most by doctors for lower back pain, knee injury pain, contusion pain, postpartum pain, fever, general body aches and pain, and on and on. Tylenol, recommended the most by the people who know the most.
Colleen McMurphy, reporting for duty. Sir.
In an all-new episode, McMurphy looks back at her first day in Vietnam.
I'm Colleen. I'm one of the new guys. Charlene, one of the old gals.
The Emmy winner moves to its new day and time tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, China Beach. Wednesday.
Why is it that I take one look at this guy and I'm back in the 8th grade? I liked you the minute I saw you.
The mating game goes to court.
You have to ask him about sexual history. Everyone needs to understand.
Equal Justice, Wednesday.
Hey, bud, you seen the bag man? You know, the WDAY radio bag man?
Find the WDAY radio friend. Ask everybody you see, are you the WDAY radio bagman? Ask the right person, and it's worth $1,000 in cold, hard cash. Find the bagman soon on 970 WDAY.
The Red River American Theater Organ Society presents the Fargo Theater Big Band All-Stars at Silent Movie Night with 3 comedy classics, plus the Red River Dance Company, 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday.
I don't think you should ever forget that the freedom of this station to broadcast the show you're watching is made possible because of the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution, the words we live by.
Win, place, or show, starting Monday.
Bowling's Big Guns shoot for strikes at the Greater Hartford Open. Then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, a special look at Olympic legend Nadja Comaneci. This gold medal heroine talks about her career in gymnastics, her escape to America, and her future plans in The Mystery and Magic of Nadia. And the Rose of the Kentucky Derby nears the home stretch as the country's top 3-year-olds meet at the Wood Memorial Invitational. Plus a report on the Paris-Roubaix bicycle race. It's all Saturday on ABC Sports.
The West with a 52-49 lead over the East. This week, the players have had so much fun, but one of the highlights of the entire McDonald's All-American is the slam dunk competition and the three-point shooting competition. It was held Thursday night, and to describe all the action, let's go to Dick Vitale.
Gary, one of the real surprises, I can't believe it. Sean Bradley made it to the finals of the three-point competition. Why surprise? He's 7 feet 6 inches tall. He's going to Brigham Young University, and he can shoot the rock. But Adrian Autry was on fire. Adrian, from out of New York City, is headed to Syracuse University for Jimmy Boeheim. A 6'4" passing whiz has really improved his range as a shooter and was the winner. But now we go to the slam dunk competition. And this is a look at Eddie O'Bannon. He has 5 schools still chasing him. And there he is with a reverse jam. And then we take a look at the preliminary rounds at Damon Bailey, the Hoosier dandy. He'll be playing for the General, Robert Montgomery Knight. And then we look at the power guy, Rodney Rogers, going to Wake Forest University. And then the multi-dimensional one for Duke University. That's right, he'll play for Mike Krzyzewski, Grant Hill. And then a real high riser from out of Georgia, Darren Hancock. Look at him fly to the sky. And then a big space eater, a wide body. Watch his agility. He's 7 feet 2. Luther Wright with the big slam jam band. This big space eater has great agility. And now we move to the finals. And we go to the final competition. It's down to 3. We start with Darren Hancock. Move over, Dominique Wilkins. The star in the state of Georgia is this guy, Darren Hancock. He is so fluid, so smooth. Get those 10s up. Flash those 10s. And now we take a look at Grant Hill, the son of the former running back of the Dallas Cowboys, Calvin Hill, with a reverse jam. Let's look at Grant. She wasn't impressed, Grant. She wasn't excited, but I was. Now take a look at Rodney Rogers. A little 360 spin down the lane, flying over 2 of his buddies. Rogers with that power dunk. And now we look at all the 10s. Flash those 10s, get rid of those 8s, says Rogers. There he is. That's a 360 in the air. You talk about balance and agility and concentration. And now we get a look at Darren Hancock, the high wire man, a real high riser. There's his buddy Luther Wright sitting on a chair. Here comes Mr. Hancock, up and away. Little jam, Dunk City. Darren Hancock is so smooth, silky smooth. And take a look right now, because this is the winner of the Slam Jam competition, Darren Hancock, the dominating dunker for 1990.
When Bill Denby was in Vietnam, he dreamed of coming home and playing a little basketball. A dream that all but died when he lost both legs to a Viet Cong rocket. But then researchers discovered that a DuPont plastic could help make truly lifelike artificial limbs. Now Bill's back, and some say he hasn't lost a step. At DuPont, we make the things that make a difference. Better things for better living.
Here at the Firehouse, we always try to sit down and eat a good square meal. But to be honest, we just can't always do it. Sure, we know we still need to get stuff like vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And we do, at breakfast, in Product 19.
No one food has everything you need, but every Product 19 breakfast has 19 vitamins, minerals, and other essential nutrients. So if you can't always count on eating right...
Lunch? Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Count on 19. Product 19.
Hello and welcome to Wide World of Golf.
The Wide World of Golf is an exciting new concept in golf entertainment, a golf video magazine. It's a magazine on videotape instead of paper. It has great instruction features from the game's best players and teachers.
What is a good grip? What are the elements of a good grip? Well, let's try to do as many things as natural as possible.
The Wide World of Golf will take you to the best resorts. Plus, you'll get inside information on what's best for you and equipment. You'll meet the great champions of yesterday and today. And you'll get this video, Jack Nicklaus's greatest 18 holes of major championship golf, absolutely free when you subscribe. That's less than $17 per issue, and you can cancel your subscription at any time for a full refund of the remaining portion of your subscription price. So call 1-800-321-1400 today to join the Wide World of Golf. That's 1-800-321-1400.
A message from the many faces of Ronald McDonald Children's Charities.
Love lives in me. Love lives in me.
Find out how you can help lift kids to a better tomorrow through Ronald McDonald Children's Charities. Write to this address for more information.
West with a 52-49 lead. When you talk about class, the guy that really epitomizes that is John Wooden, who won 10 NCAA championships, 7 in a row. Cheryl Miller is with him.
15 former McDonald's All-Americans played on teams.
Thanks a lot, Gary. And I'll tell you something. This is an honor for me to be sitting next to the legendary John Wooden. And, Coach, you know, I am very amazed at how skilled and fundamentally sound that these players are coming out of high school.
Oh, they're just tremendous. And then they're getting better each year. Each year, however, we say, oh, there'll never be another bunch like this. Then the next year you say the same thing. It's amazing, truly.
Well, you know, last year we were looking at McDonald's high school All-American team, and we thought that was very rich with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Anderson, and Bobby Hurley. But these players today are just as talented.
Oh, absolutely. And it is hard to believe how they can continue to become better and better. But I really believe they are.
What is the reason why these players are so talented and physically gifted? Is it a matter of developmentally they are physically better, or is the high school system coaching-wise getting better?
I think it's a combination of many things. I think even diet enters into it, and exercises, and different training procedures. And I think the teaching that they're receiving is helping them tremendously, too. And I think that possibly has given them more desire because of the more media exposure that they're getting of the NBA and the colleges and even the high school teams. And that gives them more desire, and they want to be on there, too.
Coach, how are you keeping yourself busy?
Well, I still give a lot of motivational talks to college student bodies, business conventions and conferences. I'm still going to have 2 summer basketball camps. And then I get to go places like this and get to sit by beautiful ladies like you.
All righty, Coach. Well, it's always a pleasure. Let's go back to you, Gary.
All right, Cheryl. John Wooden spoke to the players last night at the banquet they had, and as always, he just did an outstanding job. Quite a man. He's a real asset to this game of basketball. Well, we have still another half to go. We're going to be back in a moment. The West with a 3-point lead.
This is really weird. I have to shampoo a lot. And every time I do, my hair gets wet, but my scalp gets dry. Tight and itchy. The more I shampoo, the drier it can get. Now I can't stop shampooing, but I can use this. New dry scalp shampoo from Head & Shoulders. Made a different way, so it doesn't dry out your scalp like those other guys can. Try Head & Shoulders new dry scalp shampoo and help wipe out dry scalp.
The red team has elected to receive.
I'm stopping on 1. Ready?
You know, when springtime gets here, everything happens all at once.
Really?
Boom. Clean up the backyard, trim the bushes, fix the roof. There's no end to the things that have to be done.
Right.
So what do? Ask Ace. Hey, Ace is the place for me.
John, about you and the roof.
Red Devil enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paints, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil enamel for the finish of a lifetime.
Tomorrow, check it out, the hot new series.
We should be together tonight.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the man who's going to make me famous. I don't understand you at all.
Welcome to the club. Capital News, right after China Beach. It all starts at 9, 8 Central tomorrow.
Tuesday.
I am going to be thrown out like an old refrigerator.
When an old boyfriend returns,
Oh, God.
Hayden goes undercover.
Who are you?
I am just protecting my turf.
I always get goosebumps when you call me turf.
An all-new coach after Roseanne Tuesday.
sure we're not wasting water, gas,
Gotcha.
and rats. Check that the house is properly insulated. And the best thing, make certain we're recycling all our bottles, cans, and paper.
Gee, Piggy, what can we do to help the environment?
Let's not waste electricity.
To find out what you can do to help, write to Make a Difference, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C. 20036.
Ed Batista made an important decision 3 years before his accidental death. After discussing organ and tissue transplants with his family, Ed signed a donor card and checked the donor box on his driver's license.
Because we were aware of Ed's wishes, the only way to make any sense of his dying was to donate his organs. Ed will always be a real hero to us. He signed a donor card and gave a gift of life.
Organ donation is a family decision. Talk about it.
Instant winner, instant loser, tonight at 10.
Ready to go in this second half. You know, you talk about good bloodlines, you talk about good genes. Well, we talked about Grant Hill and what a player he is. And also Calvin Hill, his daddy, who was an outstanding football player in the NFL, now working with the Baltimore Orioles. There he is. He was at the banquet last night where his son was introduced. See, that family has outstanding ability. I'm talking about playing the piano, playing basketball, football, anything you want. Of course, Calvin Hill went to Yale.
Well, they're not one-dimensional. As you mentioned, he went to Yale, the Ivy League school. As we look at Grant sitting there, and I know one thing, he's going to fit in perfectly in the Mike Krzyzewski system, and he's just going to be an outstanding player there because he's multi-talented. And then you combine the great attitude and his proud papa. Was he proud last night at the banquet?
Yeah, it was fun to see that. I wonder if Calvin Hill was a basketball player. Do you know? Did he play quite a bit?
I didn't know that.
I don't know. I'm asking you. I thought you knew all those things.
I thought he was a running back, and that's all he did was run with the football.
I got a feeling he could play basketball as well. So as we begin the second half, the West with a 52-49 lead. The high point scorers in the game, 2 players for the East with 11. That was Reeves along with Smith. 10 for O'Bannon and Bradley leading the West. As far as shooting was concerned, the West got the better of it, shooting a little over 45%, the East only 40%.
Well, you know, let's also clarify for the people as we look at the score, 52-49. Eric Montross told us, my name is not Montrose, like people have been calling me all through my career. It's Montross. I said, Eric, when you're as big as you are, we call you anything you want, anytime you want.
You didn't believe me when I said it was Montross.
I know. I thought it was Montrose.
You know what you need to do? You need to go to the person and ask him, right?
And that's what we did. We went right to the horse's mouth, and he delivered.
Okay, Bailey and Hill will be in the backcourt. This is O'Bannon, Montross, and Cade, the same 5 that started the ball game, opening for the West. Shot missing. David Bailey keeps it alive. O'Bannon has it rejected outside. Cade, he overpassed that one. Coming out, there's Rozier. Rozier up to Cliff, or should say Brian Reese. Reese lean in. And Montross with the rebound.
Eric's really good at the outlet pass.
Grant Hill somehow is able to retrieve that one. Montross working hard inside, takes it back up. He's just going to be a solid block of granite. Montross is inside.
Oh, he's going to be really an instant player down at North Carolina who's going to contribute down in their low post system. Remember North Carolina with the great passing game where they invert their big guys, they run them to the foul line, slide them down to the boxes. He's going to score big along the boxes inside.
Montross, a B-plus student. Of course, playing for Dean Smith. He is the only player from the West going to North Carolina, 3 from the East, and then you mentioned Pat Sullivan as well.
I knew Indiana and Michigan were in big trouble when I did a game between North Carolina and North Carolina State on ESPN, and sitting across courtside, paying his own way down for his second visit was Eric and his dad. I said, uh-oh, you're in trouble, Fisher and Knight.
His dad, Scott, is an outstanding trial lawyer here in Indianapolis. Little jump hook by Wright. Montross, good defense on that play. 53-49, the West of the lead. Cade, coast to coast.
Oh, Bailey wanted the rock. He was wide open, but Cade said, wait a minute. I'm 0 for 6 in the first half. I'm going to make this baby count.
Norm Held, the coach, said all week long, Cade impressed me more every day, and you can see why, the way he's played at times today. Autry doesn't get it, but he gets the ball batted outside by Luther Wright.
Did you see that pass?
Yes, I did, and putting it away inside is Rogers.
What a pass by Autry, the diagonal pass from the left hand.
And Cade easily at the other end.
Well, Cade goes 2 for 2 in the last 30 seconds after going Brick City, USA, 0 for 6 in the first half.
That's the reason you have a second half, right? 6-point lead now for the West. Autry, that's where he won that three-point competition. Not there today, though. Rogers, Montrose got a piece of the ball.
Notice how Eric puts the ball above his head with the great outlet.
Oh, I'd love to watch O'Bannon. We have a dunk-a-thon going on here. 12 points now for O'Bannon. Is he smooth?
Ed O'Bannon is going to be an outstanding player right out of the gate, wherever he goes to school. He's just too talented.
Inside to Luther, and Luther loses it, but it's going to be the East basketball.
You know, the point I was trying to make to the kids yesterday, also talking to them about expectations, about blending in, about the academic adjustment they're going to face, and also the fact for the first time in their lives, media evaluation and criticism. And many kids can't handle that. And that's a big, big adjustment for a lot of players, Gary.
Let's look at this dunk-a-thon we're talking about.
Well, this is a little dunking contest right now. Look at Kane. He's going to take this one right down the lane. No doubt about it. Jam City.
Oh, O'Bannon had that one rejected. Luther Wright was up on that one. At the other end, Autry, and reaching in was Grant Hill. He commits a foul. These kids have worked hard this week. In fact, some of the coaches are feeling they were wearing down a little bit because it's so much showtime involved, so much up and down the floor. And they've enjoyed it immensely, though. And as I was talking to a couple of players, you find out it's a barometer where you fit in.
Well, yeah, it's a pride factor, too. I think the biggest danger, though, Gary, for all of us, is to overemphasize a game. As we look at Autry has a bad hand, the left hand, over-evaluate these kids in an all-star setting. It's so difficult to get a true evaluation here. You have to really see them in a team concept within a structured system on their given teams.
But I tell you, you'd take any of them, wouldn't you?
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
O'Bannon doesn't get it. Montrose doing that blue-collar work inside, tried to follow. Montrose really does a good job of positioning himself. And there they are. Scott, his father, we're talking about being the trial lawyer.
I'll tell you one thing, his dad overachieved in marriage. That's a good looking lady. Wow.
That's been said about you many times, but I never heard that about the Montroses.
Hey, I'll tell you one other thing. They don't have their maize and blue on right now. They're both graduates of the University of Michigan.
That's his wife, Janet, by the way. As here's Cade, and look at that rejection by Rozier, but that's goaltending.
Yeah, that's no doubt about goaltending right there. He got that one on his downward flight. Look at Cliff Rozier.
Tell you what, Eric has a sister that's a pretty good player, too.
His granddaddy played also at Michigan. In fact, John Wooden paid so many compliments to his granddad as a great passer.
Now, there's Luther showing some range. He loves to shoot outside.
I told people he reminds me of a young version of a guy I coached with the Pistons by the name of Bob Lanier.
They're both left-handed, and I think Bob Lanier had a 22 size shoe. He's only got a 19.
On a high school level, Bob wasn't as talented, but Bob really developed as time went on.
There's O'Bannon finishing inside. 63-57, the West with the lead. O'Bannon now with 14.
O'Bannon just bored to score, really bored to score.
Rozier posting up on O'Bannon. Good second effort by Reese, and Reese is fouled.
You know, this class has a lot of balance when you look at the big people. Eric Montross right here, 7-footer. You talk about Luther Wright, the big guy, and Bradley, and some really outstanding guards. But I'll take you to a class back in 1979. I don't think any class can duplicate Isaiah Thomas. What about Dominique Wilkins? What about Steve Stepanovich? Sam Bowie. You want more? Ralph Sampson.
And they all played in the McDonald's, all those guys you're mentioning.
That was an incredible class, the 79 class.
Well, that was an incredible year for NCAA basketball. That's a great final game between Indiana State and Michigan State, between Larry Bird and Magic. So Reese now makes it a 4-point game. There's Damon Bailey, reach in by Autry committing the foul.
Damon Bailey really carried that high school team on his back to the state championship. Unbelievable performances. And in Indiana, you talk about winning a state championship. It is Hoosier hysteria. 41,000 for the final game.
They played it in the Hoosier Dome just a few blocks away from here, and it is Hoosier hysteria, no question. Damon Bailey missing on that shot, and somebody flashing in front of him. Grant Hill will reload it. Rebound, Rozier.
Next year, the NCAA championship will be at the Hoosier Dome.
Rozier finishing at the other end. So he started it all and finished it at the other end. 2-point game in favor of the West. Here's Bailey reaching around as Autry trying to keep up with him. Hill, little jumper inside.
Grant Hill with a little touch around the basket. You think about Hurley coming back and Christian Leitner. They lose Robert Brickey, so he's going to fit in really well. He'll be like a point forward, which was designed by Don Nelson when he coached the Milwaukee Bucks with Paul Pressey.
How's this for an outside shot? A three-pointer by Rozier, who moments ago hit one from 1 foot away, and this time from three-point land.
Well, that's what makes him a multi-dimensional player. Good inside-outside ability.
He has 14. O'Bannon follow inside Montrose. Rebound is Luther Wright, and Montrose continues to battle. Wright looks like he's getting a little tired. Rozier, and I can understand why. Luther stays at the other end, and there's his parents.
Look at Mama and Papa, Mr. and Mrs. Rozier, really excited. They drove all the way up from Bradenton, Florida to come out here to see Cliff play.
Air ball there by Damon Bailey. And it's going to be the East basketball. 14:49 left in this game. The East leads it by 1, 66-65. During the week, all the players have the opportunity to visit the Ronald McDonald House. Each year, proceeds of the game are donated to a children's charity in the city where the game is played. It's quite a sobering experience, and these young men and women glad to see these players. People just a little less fortunate than them, but they went in, and they tell me that Luther Wright and Sean Bradley were the stars. They just came in, and the kids loved them. Past 12 years, they've raised more than $850,000 to the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, the United Negro College Fund, the Indianapolis Campaign for Healthy Babies. Home Away from Home is the Ronald McDonald Home for the families of seriously ill children who are being treated at nearby hospitals.
What a great concept that is, and just our hearts go out to those young kids who just unbelievable, beautiful little people sitting there. Just, I tell you, Gary, you get all choked up. Just
you do.
It's amazing. It's beautiful that these athletes get a chance to see some people who aren't as fortunate.
And they talk about it for years afterwards. Inside, the follow by Smith, ripped out by Sean Bradley. They have some changes now as Derek Hancock is checked into the game. He loses it. Here we go to the other end, and nobody's back for the West. And Dwayne Morton will finish it.
Wayne Morton with the finish, Mr. Basketball in Kentucky. Really a very poor play by Hancock trying to dribble through the defense. I mean, this has been a Duncan Derby, as you said earlier.
Nick, is there a record for dunks in a game?
Well, I'll tell you, in a game like this, you're going to get a lot of dunks because you get the 3-on-1s, 4-on-2s.
Here comes that guy from Louisville. He's a thoroughbred, and he's right at home the way Dwayne Morton's been running the floor.
Getting a dunk right here.
Alvin Simon, and nice interception by Khalid Reeves.
Simon did run the 45-degree angle. Should be a dunk right here somewhere.
And Phelps saying a blocking foul as Phelps tries to duck inside, and committing the foul is Derek Hancock.
4-on-1 and didn't do a good job in terms of coming up with the finalizer and completing the play. Most teams like to convert at least 60% of transition basketball plays. And there's a look at Lute Olson watching Mr. Reeves. Lute telling us that he's really concerned about the knee of Brian Williams.
Yeah, he is. Boy, he's going to be happy to get Chris Mills, though, who had to stay out this year after transferring from Kentucky. There's Rodney Rogers. Arizona will be tough. They just needed a guy like Reeves who could keep people honest outside with his shooting.
Yeah, he'll help that backcourt. Mulbach's back also, along with Othick, so they really have some solid backcourt people, and Mills gives them the great baseline performer. Brooks is a really improved player along the boxes inside.
Don Bradley.
I really like him. I'll tell you something right now. They could talk about he doesn't have weight. They could talk about he doesn't have stamina and strength. Bradley is going to be a factor in the WAC conference.
Not just there it is. Conference, the entire country, as Rogers had to change his shot that time because Bradley was in his face. Here's Brandon. Oh, what a nice follow that time by Simon.
Simon with the big wide body. He didn't go to LSU. He's going to New Orleans, the university with Tim Floyd, the outstanding coach. I think he looked at all the talent down at LSU. And he said, hey, maybe no PT playing time.
Bradley with the rebound. And you forget again that these guys, 18, maybe 19 years old, seniors in high school, playing this game in a way that, well, you just don't expect it from this age group. Here's Simon. Off to Brandon. Brandon really does a good job of finishing the ball and finishing the play.
Well, Jamie Brandon right there took the ball from the right hand to the left hand and converted it with a lot of poise right up on the glass.
West with that 1-point lead. Rogers from outside, 3-point attempt. Simon really working hard inside, comes up with a rebound. He's a big body guy, isn't he? And Alec catching for palming the basketball, and so that's the turnover.
Bradley's got excellent touch. You know, that's what really impresses me. Watch his feathery touch. Knows how to catch the ball. Look at the first step, the good drop step, pulling away. I'll tell you one thing, this guy, Randy Brewer, and those guys are making a lot of money playing in the NBA. Eventually, this guy is going to make a lot of cash playing in the NBA.
Dick, he hasn't missed a shot. He's 5'5" from the field. His dad is 6'8", his mother's 6 foot, and he has a 9-year-old sister who's 4'10", and there he rejects the shot.
Well, they tried to challenge him. Reeves did on a drive to the basket, and Bradley said, "You can't be serious. 3-on-1, and you're going to take it up at me?"
I hope everybody saw your halftime show on the 3-point shooting, because Sean Bradley looked pretty good doing that too, didn't he?
Excellent timing right there.
There's Morton, and Morton gets the shot to go. And Kendrick Warren, number 22, picking up the foul.
Louisville certainly has one of the great recruiting classes in the country. Once it'll be confirmed, and I really believe it will be eventually, that Morton will be allowed to go to Louisville, hooking up with Cade down here for Denny Crump's team.
6'6.5" out of Central High School in Louisville, Morton. And he gets the 3-point play.
That's not certainly valid when it says undecided. He's decided, but the NCAA has said otherwise.
And so it's undecided. 73-71, the East by 2.
Mr. Green has a mower he purchased brand new. Oh, the wonderful things he thought it would do. But it sputtered, it coughed, it gave quite a wheeze. And mowing the yard was not such a breeze. And so when the time came to buy something new, Mr. Green bought a snapper, and so should you. For your yard and your garden, these snappers, you see, take mowing and grooming more seriously. And now when he mows, Mr. Green is seen with something we'd call a serious machine.
It makes me wanna
Shout Power Stick lets you stick it to tough stains today.
throw my head back and
Shout them out next wash day.
kick my feet out of.
Shout Power Stick keeps stains from setting in till you're ready to wash them out. In tests against spray and wash stick, women chose Shout 2-to-1.
You know it makes me wanna shout. Come on now, shout.
Want tough stains out? Choose new Power Stick Shout.
I used to have dandruff, so I tried Head & Shoulders. Then I tried Selsun Blue. Blue is better.
Selsun Blue relieves dandruff flaking better than Head & Shoulders. And doctors recommend it more than Head & Shoulders, Denorex, and Tegrin.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue.
Own a foreign car, Midas has the right brake parts in stock for practically every foreign car. And our brake technicians are trained experts, so we do the job right and right away. For foreign car brakes, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
From a girl of magic to a woman of mystery, the story of Nadia Comaneci's new life in America, plus the Wood Memorial, Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Dick Vitale, let's document the play of this 7'6" giant from Utah.
Well, I love his fingertip control. I love the way he has the great follow-through to concentration once he catches the ball down in the post area. And on the defensive end, he certainly intimidates. Not a good play by Reeves to come in here and try and challenge the 7'6". I'll tell you something, he really can block shots. And what a great personality, great attitude.
7 rebounds and 4 blocks. Let's go now to Cheryl Miller.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. And with me is the guru of high school basketball, Howard Garfinkel, and you're going to tell us who were the greatest recruiting classes in the country.
Cheryl, number one without question, 1979, Isaiah Thomas, Dominique Wilkins, Sam Bowie, Stepanovich, Paxson, on and on and on and on. Unbelievable. Number two, let's go with the famous class with class, they called it. 1977, we had Magic Johnson. And we had the other Paxson, Jim Paxson, Albert King, Gene Banks, and another great one, and I just can't, let me look at my thing. Classic, Jeff Ruin, the great Jeff Ruin. I love that one. 1988, the jury is out class. Maybe it'll reach there someday. Owens, Alonzo Mourning, Christian Leighton, and Michael Jackson. And that's about it.
All right, thanks a lot, Howard. Let's go back to you, Gary.
I think he means Chris Jackson, not Michael Jackson. He's talking about Chris Jackson in '88.
So where does this one stack up?
Well, I think, as he said, the jury's got to be out on these young guys. We don't know what they're going to do and what they're going to achieve versus what's happened already in the Magic class. With Gene Banks was part of that class as well when Magic came out. I'll never forget the cover of Sports Illustrated had a picture of Magic and Gene Banks and also Albert King.
Cade at the line, you can see his numbers for the year. Cade at 6'9". He averaged those 27 points a game, but the thing that really impressed the coaches about him is he just played very well at the other end of the floor. He played very good defense.
Yeah, he really does. Good job rebounding. I got a kick out of my guy Garf there, Garfinkel. You see how nervous and some height he got in terms of being interviewed? Everybody has the answer how to do it on TV until the red light comes on, and then immediately all your thoughts begin to get shaken. Except me, Gary. Do I get nervous?
Never.
I'm the biggest hot dog in hamburger.
You said that, Dick, not me now.
Well, I'm going to write the column for some of the critics. They're going to call me that anyway.
Bradley missed his first shot from the field in this game. It really wasn't his shot. And they take it out to Dwayne Morton. We have a little over 11 minutes left in this game, and it's been up and down the floor. Bradley rejected that one. Rozier reloads it, though.
Rozier with the good little jump hook inside, protects the basketball. When the night's all over, Rozier somehow will put 20 or better in the book.
Well, he's got 18 right now.
He does have 18 already. I didn't know he had that many, but he just knows how to score.
77-73 the East. To Sean Bradley, and that time too much on it. And here comes the breakaways. They come out quickly. Nice return to Smith.
Nice play. Michael Smith with the finalizer. The Friars are going to love him as we look at Bill Curley sitting on the sideline. Great numbers he had while he played in high school, going out to Boston College.
If you look at him from the profile, it looks like Dan Issel.
Yeah, he does have a little look at Dan
he really does. And they tell me that he will go after every loose ball. He will go after everything. He is one of those throwback-type players.
Everybody I've talked to said he's really special and could be a dominant player. Look at him to Luther Wright. Look at Luther.
Well, they'll be meeting each other in the Big East because Curley headed to Boston College and, of course, Luther to Seton Hall. Here is Cade from outside. I like this guy. So smooth.
Cade's had really a good second half.
He and Morton will be with Denny Crum. That is, if the Morton situation is straightened out. What a pair they'll be for Coach Crum.
They expect a ruling on that sometime this week.
Cade has it batted away, and Derek Phelps.
Derek Phelps with the finisher. If Morton doesn't get permission to play at Louisville, I look for him to join Wade Houston down at Tennessee.
And that would be Alec Houston as well, who's played so well as a freshman at Tennessee. Grant Hill cut off at the baseline, and he's fouled.
You're going to see the Southeastern Conference make a jump next year. They had really a down year this year, but Kentucky's got some great recruits. I think this kid Martinez, 6'10", from out of Miami in Florida, is going to be really an outstanding college player. And Jamal Mashburn certainly could play with anybody out here going out to Kentucky. And then you talk about Florida with the hiring of Lonnie Kruger. What a great choice bringing Kruger into Florida and the SEC.
He did such a great job at Kansas State.
And Alabama's going to be in the top 15 in America in everybody's poll. Rip Sanderson's not going to be able to cry with that array of talent.
Nice reverse there by Grant Hill. He has 10 points.
Grant Hill with the good reverse along the baseline. Next year, eligible for Alabama will be James Hollywood Robinson. Remember we had him in this game?
Yep. Ducking inside, and that's Adrian Autry.
Every player wants to drive, baby, drive. They really love taking the ball to the goal.
Cade from outside showing his range. Doesn't get it. Reese to Autry. Back is Cade. And Autry protecting the ball well.
One of the real negatives in a game like this, Gary, is the balance and the rotation back in defensive transition. That's why you see so many layups.
Can you imagine how tired Luther Wright's got to get in a game like this, carrying all that ball back and forth? 85-79, the East rejected inside Montross. Nice job by Eric.
Eric gets
Reese rejected again by Eric.
Eric Montross owning the lane inside. They love it in Indianapolis, even though he got some boos early in the game, but got a lot of cheers too.
Bill Ford, assistant coach, outstanding All-American in North Carolina, representing the Tar Heels.
You talk about a passer and a point guard. me there was never a better idea. When Ford had the rock in his hands and they went to that four corners, you put up the white handkerchief, it was over, baby. It was over.
I think Cade will get the credit for that tip, and that ball gets away. I don't know how they keep this pace up. Phil Ford was about as creative with a ball as anybody you'll ever see.
When they went to that four corners and they spread the court, and you didn't have the shot clock, the game was his. He had Kupchak on one side, Lagarde on the other, Walter Davis on the other side, and John Kuster. And what a job. He was a magical performer with the rock in his hands.
East leads by 6. We're going to take a break here from Market Square Arena.
Why don't we have as much quiet here as we had on the greens?
Okay. Come on, move on, and they have no reaction. No, the way you shoot these ducks are going to have to wear helmets. No, you just need happiness to enjoy life. Very deep there now. Very deep.
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If they're not Dockers, they're just pants.
I look like my mom, but I act like my dad. Which is...
Well, be careful. I feel bad for your mom.
This is ABC.
The great American new talent tradition belongs to Star Search. We've entered the 90s with the greatest new singers from every city in the land. Round 2 entertainment couldn't be better than with the dancers of the 90s. You wanted a band, and Star Search found them. From rock to rap to reggae and back, the laughs are worth $100,000 and a perfect score of 4. Will Bobby Brown take the championship in the spokesmodel competition? This week on Star Search 90.
Sunday night at 11:45 on WDAY TV.
Watch Fargo City election coverage Tuesday.
The speed, the danger, the controversy. IndyCar drivers hit the road for the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach next Sunday on ABC Sports.
This reminder, next Sunday, ABC Sports starts off with a phenomenal hour in the great outdoors with another edition of Outside Magazine's Adventure Sports Special. Then auto racing follows with two-time defending champion Al Unser Jr. going for his 3rd straight win on the streets of Southern California. IndyCars take off at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. That's all next Sunday here on ABC. It's Miller time, and here is one of those Millers, Reggie Miller, playing now with the Indiana Pacers. And alongside him, Sister Cheryl.
That's proud sister. I'll tell you what, they certainly look alike, but I know one thing. Her checking account doesn't look like his. And his is going to get bigger and bigger.
He's having a great year for the Pacers, best of his career.
He's heading for a $2 million payoff. He has really become a big-time scorer in the NBA.
Reach from three-point land, and Luther goes up for it, doesn't come away with it, though. Here comes O'Bannon. Lead pass to Hill. He's trying to get to Cade, and Cade got it.
And O'Bannon with an excellent pass. Cade made a great play right there. Good alertness and anticipation ability. Hey, I love Eddie O'Bannon. Oh, is he a BT player, baby? Is he a prime-time performer?
Cade, by the way, has 14 points this half. Had 2 in the first. There's Damon Bailey with the rejection. O'Bannon again. Saves it, but then it's kicked off by Rogers. And who's going to put this one away? Rozier.
And here's Rozier with 20 big ones. He can't score that much. He's going to get too many headlines in Bradenton. I can't let him steal the headline.
Well, I understand you're moving anyway. That's 22 points for Rozier. That's thrown away. Well, I tell you, Rozier, if he keeps playing like this, he may have a house as big as yours someday.
Uh-oh, come on now. You're tough on me. Here it is, leading scorers. Rozier with 22 big ones.
Cade with those 16, 14 of them in the second half. 89-85, the East of the lead. Montrose trying to post up inside. Ball batted away, and they say O'Bannon touched it last.
Yeah, went off O'Bannon's hands. The officials doing a good job. Gary Muncy, Eric Harmon right here. I've had them in numerous games.
And it's not an easy game to officiate. You know that, Dick, because it's
pace.
up and down. The pace is tremendous. Here is Smith. Rogers tipped it up. Nobody's quit playing hard in this game. O'Bannon off the hill, and Hill.
Oh, yes. Cameron Indoor Stadium, get ready. Mr. K, you're going to love Mr. Hill. Hurley to Hill, rock and roll, slam jam bam. Duke University.
14 points for Brandon. Hey, at least Krzyzewski doesn't even know what you're saying there.
Nobody does.
And
That's why I say, only in America, baby, can it happen, where a guy can't speak English and make a pretty good living.
Here's Bailey trying to take it inside. And the follow by Cade. The basket will count, and he's fouled.
Hey, Cade is playing one heck of a second half. Look at Luther Wright. Says, where did Cade come from? I know you feel great because Cade's your guy. You've been singing his praises all day to me today. There's Bailey taking it to the goal. Now watch Cade working the glass here. Good offensive rebound. He takes it right away from Luther. Says, no, Luther, not getting a piece of that. And since Cade has done so well and you projected that, I think it's only right that tonight you pick up the tab at dinner and treat me for Easter Sunday.
Boy, the dad slipped that one in on me. How did that happen? I got blindsided on that one. I can see that right now.
Hey, Gary, can we say, is it legal for us to say Happy Easter to our family?
It certainly is legal. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, hon. I want to say Happy Easter to my wife and my 2 girls and my beautiful...
you certainly did marry above yourself.
And my beautiful golden retriever, Theo.
Here's Roger scoring.
Hey, Roger's going to Wake Forest. He's going to be a force for Davey Odom, and he's got himself a guard, a point guard by the name of Childress.
Hill. Oh, that's
Grant
a move,
Hill.
huh?
In your face, Grant Hill said.
I don't think he learned that from his dad, Calvin.
I'll tell you one thing, he showed a lot of intelligence to get away from the pigskin and playing football, taking those bumps and bruises.
Khalid Reeves will come in as they're going to have to get somebody a blow here. And the pace has just been unbelievable as Brian Reese will sit down. 5:54 left in the game. And, you know, aside from all this has been a tight game. It's now a 1-point game with 5:50 to go. Not a lot of strategy, but a lot of athleticism.
I'm glad you said that. Very little strategy in terms of offensive sets. It's a matter of just run up and down the floor, try to get back quickly, stop the progress of the basketball, look for the open shot.
Rogers committing the foul, his 4th again now. They are allowed 6 fouls for this game today. Grant Hill, baseline, and he likes it inside. This time, though, Wright gets it out of there, bats it away. Damon Bailey tried to save it, but did not.
Bailey reminds me of a player who's going to really fit in better in a structured situation than an up-and-down game like this. I remember one year we did the game with Chris Corciani, and everybody said, Corciani, overrated, Mr. Basketball in Florida, cannot play, will not make it on a major college level. He's only heading to be the all-time leader in assists since his years at North Carolina State.
It may sound like a cliche, and maybe it is, but Damon Bailey will make the players around him better.
He really will. I think another thing, getting back to Corciani, I think it'd be wise to stay at North Carolina State and at least wait to see who they hire as a coach rather than just leave because of emotions. Because right now, they have a potential team that could be in the top 20 in the nation, NC State.
Hancock kicks it out. Bradley tried to track it down. Off to Morton.
He's a finisher. He's a high wire. To the Ringland Bailey, Barnum and Bailey circus time. Up and away.
We should have kept track of all the dunks in this game. Incredible how many we've had. 95, 92 the count. Bailey in trouble there. And Khalid Reeves will finish at the other end. Khalid, they call him. Khalid Reeves.
He wanted to head out to the west, down in Arizona. Pac-10 going to be tough. UCLA is going to be very good. And Southern Cal is on the move. This kid, Harold Miner, is the real thing for Georgia.
He is very good. Montross, one-handed stuff there. He has 10 points.
No doubt about it. He's going to be a solid player. Bob Gibbons of All-Star Sports has written so many positive things about Montross, and I can see why.
And there's Bradley again coming out of there with it after blocking it. So they've got both Montross and Bradley in there now, the Twin Towers for the West.
I know it's amazing sitting in the lobby yesterday talking to Grant Hill and a number of the players. They were singing the praises of a kid from out of Detroit. They said, Coach, where do you see Chris Webber? Chris Webber from Detroit Country Day, only a junior, 6'9.5", and has all the skills that you could possibly want in a player.
And he'll be in the McDonald's All-American quite possibly a year from now. Simon coming into the ball game now for the West. 4:19 left, 97-94, the East of the league. So seldom we've had a half-court game here.
Yeah,
Good offense run.
We've had 4 passes. Let's see how many more touches.
Bradley, nice bounce pass. Yeah, to Hancock, and he's fouled by Morton.
Excellent backdoor cut. You know who's been really shut off in this game and contained, and you would think he would really stand out in a game like this? Darren Hancock. You would think in the up-tempo game, running up and down the floor, he's such a spectacular athlete with great jumping ability. He's been really neutralized here.
That's his game. There's some people wondering what his outside shooting ability is all up to, but he can do all the rest. Taking it to the hole very effectively. He has 4 points thus far. Hancock, as we mentioned, not a good free throw shooter, shooting 61% during his high school senior year. 2-point game. 3:59 to go. Market Square Arena, the site of some outstanding young players.
Ford, profiles in quality.
On ABC. 12,033 here, and here is the Dick Vitale top recruiting classes.
Well, I'll tell you, when you look at them right now, and certainly it's just an opinion, doesn't make it accurate. Carolina, without a doubt, number one. Arizona State, awesome. Wake Forest, tremendous class. Morton goes to Louisville, put them there. Providence, Michigan State, BYU, Kentucky, Las Vegas, and Duke. I don't have Illinois in there, and they could be in there, but basically because I'm waiting to see what happens in terms of the NCAA investigation.
They're going to have a charge here on Rodney Rogers, who ducked inside, and that's his 5th foul. But as we mentioned, they get 6.
And you know, Gary, that's certainly something to change because as we look at Rodney Rogers' mom, certainly proud of her son, but basically that's subject to change because you don't know what's going to happen with an Ed O'Bannon, a Darren Hancock, and players like that could really change it.
Stella Rogers is the lady who you saw just a moment ago.
I'll tell you, he has great ball handling skills, Grant Hill. Really an excellent passer.
Lazier had it stripped momentarily by Simon. We have 3.5 left. 2-point lead now for the East. Trying to add to that advantage. Phelps in a lot of trouble. Shovels it up. Rebound Smith. He goes again.
That Michael Smith is one tenacious competitor.
And a foul eventually on Grant Hill. Phelps playing awfully hard inside, too.
Hey, don't believe that these kids don't want to win or the coaches don't want to win. You better believe Coach Hell and Coach Montelli, that's all they know. Win, win, and win. And that's why they're sitting on the sideline. Both guys have had great high school records. Held over at Anderson High School in Indiana, and Mr. Montelli out of St. Joe's in Trumbull, Connecticut.
Finally, the shot is put in by Reeves. And it's now a 4-point lead.
There's a look at Vito Montelli's got a nice hairdo. I love his hairstyle. It matches mine.
Bald is sexy, right?
Well, he sees the same barber I do. Vito has a great record. He's done a tremendous job. Got beaten a heartbreaker this year for the state championship.
Yeah, he's won 6 Connecticut state championships, and there's Norm Held out of Anderson, Indiana. 15 years. He's had his team 6 times in the Final Four.
Troy Lewis came out of that high school. Fine player that played for Purdue University.
Well, he's an assistant. He's sitting down there on the bench.
Oh, yeah, that is Troy sitting on the sideline.
He was the Mr. Basketball of Indiana in 1984, and Troy helping. There he is.
There's a look at Troy. Was an outstanding backcourt mate of Everett Stevens, played for Gene Cady, the mild-mannered, silent Gene Cady, never gets excited. Just cost him 10 foul big ones. Well, knowing Gene, that's one speaking engagement.
He's going to call you for a loan. 2-point lead now for the East. We have 2:57 left. Phelps out of control, but Reeves is able to retrieve it. So his teammate in high school kind of salvaged that one.
It's nice when you got two guys that have played together. They have great feel for each other. They anticipate well, Reeves and Phelps.
Brandon gets it in to Simon. Melvin Simon, lean, doesn't get it. Rebound, Kendrick Warren.
Kendrick Warren with a good offensive rebound. Comes in from the weak side.
Up it comes to Reeves. Reeves is fouled. You know, of all the guys in this game, it seems to have outstanding stamina is this guy Reeves. He has been running all day long.
Reeves really going to challenge for a lot of playing time down at Arizona. Even though they returned their backcourt, we talked about Matt Muehlbach and also Othick. He has got great athletic ability and tremendous range as a shooter. Look at those numbers.
Somebody said that he scores like we breathe. He doesn't even have to think about it. He has that ability to really stroke it outside, and what a help he'll be to the Wildcats next year.
They signed another outstanding player from out of the San Diego area by the name of Tony Clark, a fine player. In fact, one of my former assistant coaches, Mike Brunker, has played a real role in the development of Tony Clark, and he told me so many positives about Clark. He's also an outstanding baseball player, and he'll be going to Arizona.
It's a three-point game, and then Reeves with a big play in this game.
That's a big play by Reeves. Good anticipation, reaches in, strips the ball.
He's got to be one of the candidates for the MVP, the John Wooden Trophy. Shot outside by Cade. Here comes Reeves again. Finishes well.
I'll tell you, Reeves can complete the play. He also wants the rock at the crucial time. A lot of players disappear late in the game. They don't want the ball. Reeves wants the ball.
Boy, Lute Olson, I looked over there a while ago. He is grinning from ear to ear. Montross doesn't get it. Follow tip is in. Nicely by O'Bannon.
O'Bannon with the tip, but it was good two-man play by Bailey into Montross. Really an outstanding twosome. They played well together. Luther right. You get in a structured offensive system and get him the ball down in the blocks. He knows how to score.
1:25 left, 7-point game. Foul before the shot. Cade is fouled.
You know, Bailey and Montross played together on the AAU team in Indiana, and they won the championship. They really had an outstanding team last year with a lot of the players that are now playing at Indiana, guys like Calvin Cheney and Greg Graham.
Timeout, 1:23. We're going to come back to finish this one. 7-point lead by the East. 3 left in this one. A 7-point lead for the East. The East last year had their 4-game winning streak snapped by the West. The series coming into this day was even at 6. As out of bounds now, the West will play the ball. Bailey and Montross, Hill, along with Brandon and O'Bannon, will be the 5 for the West.
Montross has really impressed me. His presence on the floor, his alertness, his ability to post inside. I think he's going to be a solid player.
10th team foul, so they're going to go to the 1-1. They had started out of bounds, and O'Bannon at the line. He shot 85% from the line this year. I don't think there's anything this guy can't do. You know, Dick, you think about immediate impact. This year, 3 freshmen were in the Final Four. Hurley and McCaffrey for Duke, along with Kenny Anderson for Georgia Tech, and 15 total former McDonald All-Americans were in the Final Four.
Well, Kenny Anderson certainly was everything everybody ever written and more. He really was the real thing. Last year, he couldn't play in the McDonald's game because he had that injury to his ankle.
Reese can't get it, and Luther is fouled. Reaching in is Jamie Brandon.
And he was the best point guard that I've ever seen coming into from the high school ranks to the collegiate ranks, and really just did a super job. Hey, don't be surprised if Gerard Bustaf and Walt Williams don't end up playing for Georgia Tech and leave Maryland. I would not be shocked, especially if Dennis Scott goes to the NBA draft, which I think he has to go with his marketability so high. Just like I think Larry Johnson, despite his claims that he will definitely return to school, it's pretty tough to think about coming back, Gary, when you're looking at about $12 million over 5 years. That's in your league, big fella.
Right. Get out of here.
Play-by-play guys. Yeah, you're up there in the big leagues.
I tell you, Dick, no one believes that. But I tell you right now, the thing that you always have to be concerned about, of course, is being hurt if you stay in college. On the other hand, boy, what a great opportunity it would be for Larry Johnson to come back and be the first team since UCLA to repeat as national champ. So there's a real tension there.
They would really be awesome. There's no doubt about it. They've also added Elmore Spencer, Sean Tarver. I mean, Jerry Tarkanian, I said it earlier, they're ready to go challenge up in the NBA playing some of those expansion teams.
Bradley just couldn't get that one to go down. And so now with 53 seconds left, it's a 7-point lead for the East. They should take a little time here off the clock, but they haven't done it all game long. Why start now? And
Rogers! Oh, Rodney Rogers! Mama's sitting in his stand. Says, yes, that's my little baby. That's Rodney.
Oh, Grant Hill at the other end. And look at Luther. Off to Autry. Nice pass to Rogers.
Rogers, I tell you, he's putting a Duncan show. He's saying, Hancock, you got the Duncan trophy in the Slam Champ M. Hey,
that was a nice move by Montross. Good body control.
Well, he held his poise also, and he was really anticipating the defensive player. Kept his poise. I like Bradley. I'll tell you what, I like all these kids.
And everybody kind of standing around saying it's over, I guess, now. But no, Rogers is going to finish it. So Sean Bradley is the MVP MVP for the West, and Khalid Reeves is the MVP for the East. You can't argue either one of those choices.
Well, you can't argue certainly the way Reeves performed late in the game. He really made the big play. And there's a look at Bradley. Tremendous chemistry among all these players. They really seemed to get along so well last night at the banquet. And I really think many of these kids, it's bye-bye Derek Coleman, Ramil Robinson, and that whole gang. And it's a load of college basketball with all these new stars for tomorrow.
Yes, sir. The college game will be impacted immediately by these 20 young men played here this afternoon. The final, the East 115.